Welcome everyone to another game of League of Legends. So tonight we're going to have Final Esports as the blue side playing against Tenacious Turtles on the right side. We're into Champion Select, and the first one to go is Vi. Not that surprising. Jin coming up as well. It's pretty much two normal bans, let's say. And then we get
Oh,
Pantheon.
I like to think the Vi and the Pantheon are a target to both King and Queen since the last time I saw them play, they both played those champions. They did incredibly well, absolutely destroying the enemy team and just carrying the game for them last week.
Oh, we saw some Pantheon?
Yeah, King played it incredibly well, solo killing the Maokai, or getting solo killed for first blood, and then carrying on that deficit into a complete victory for Tenacious Turtles.
Then I understand perfectly why it's banned, especially since it's not something you're going to see a lot in solo queues, so it's really hard to make up a strategy on the fly to how are we going to handle this Pantheon. The Jax I'm not too sure about though. Is it another target ban, you think?
I'm pretty sure it's another target ban because the last time I was watching, they also banned it. Oh, against
And
King.
of course, it's cancelled. We're gonna see what we're gonna do if it's gonna be same pick, same bans. Um, but yeah, so far in the picks and bans, we really see Final Esports trying to just ban out King and Queen, it seems.
hmm
Like three bans, like, and two of them being able to flex between jungle and top.
hmm The
It's a
last
very
time I
interesting
had,
strategy.
the last time I'd watched them, King and Queen did the majority of the damage for their teams and making a lot of the shot calls and a lot of the plays. While generally for people who aren't, I don't know if they are, but people who aren't necessarily used to shot calling, if something bad happens to their lane or they fall behind, they generally start to turn silent. So I think the tactic is to try to put them on champions that they're not comfortable on. Maybe cause them to lose their lane, maybe make them go silent so the team's a little bit in the dark and not providing enough communication for everyone.
Hmm. It's surprising though, because usually in this meta, you're going to be expecting some carry coming from the jungle and the mid lane.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Top lane really isn't a matchup that is going to be. Okay. Yeah, top lane is not really going to snowball out of control unless you're really going for these more cheesy picks, or you're going just all out with some powerhouses, but those have been nerfed. So really interesting strategy coming from Final Esports as opposed to Tenacious Turtles, who kept it way more normal, let's say, just going really for the strong picks. Janna, we know it can be very aggravating when you're trying to engage. Um, but yeah, there wasn't that many no real target bans coming in from Tenacious Turtles. Right now
Yeah,
we're
just
trying
some
to
general bans.
hmm? Yeah. Right now we're trying to understand what's going on and what happened. While we're figuring that out, we're gonna take a small break and we're gonna be right back. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Just let me know.
And we're back. So both teams have decided to keep same bans aside from the Jana ban that was changed. The reason for the delay was that Canadian just arrived right on time for the scrim, not to say 10 minutes late, and retook the place of the sub Final Esports had on the roster. And we see the bans being ended by a Thresh Mazahar. So really a lot of pressure onto that bot lane, it seems.
Yeah, we see that the Thresh ban is definitely going to be targeted towards Canadian, as the last ban, which was Jana, is evidently not there anymore. So obviously that was also a target ban.
And the real question is going to be, can last time Canadian played, he like the entire team went off to an incredible start, just played an amazing pick comp, and now we
Hmm.
see three very good pick champions, which are Jin, Thresh, and Mazahar, being removed. So and first pick coming from Final Esports is going to be the Maokai. So
Hmm.
really doesn't seem like they're going for that same approach to the game this time.
Yeah, the
And
Maokai and then the Irelia, and to counter it, and also so that they don't show a lot. Plus the Varus, which is just straight up an OP pick right now.
yeah, it could still go to mid lane. I'd be surprised to see it, but it could still be. I don't think Varus jungle is something. But despite two bands of top laners, we see King just grabbing the Aurelia in the very good counter matchup against Maokai. Aurelia being a carry champion. Is King prepared to play this, and will he be able to reach that same amount of display the same amount of skill we saw him on Pantheon? That's going to be an interesting lane to look at. And it kind of
Yeah,
makes me doubt why you would first pick Maokai after banning two top laners, removing the possibility for like trying to put King on a bad champion or like really get him due to a small champion pool, but then giving him free counter pick.
hmm,
Doesn't seem to be making a lot of sense, but we're gonna see what they're really gonna like. Is it gonna work? Maybe it's some strategy because we see coming in an Hecarim and Syndra, which screams all out team fights.
hmm. It's really a questionable pick. Since if King doesn't win lane, then King's not going to do much. Having played that matchup before in another league, I know firsthand that if the Irelia doesn't get ahead on that Maokai at least by 1,000 gold, then that Maokai is just going to peel for the AD carry, and it's going to be impossible for King to do anything there. And especially since they're going to go with the Amumu pick, they really have to make sure that the enemy team does not have any front line to protect Agent and make sure that he stays alive.
Mm-hmm.
And while they don't have much frontline, which is ironic because they decided to go with the Varus, who's really pokey and not a big fan of all in, but their comp is going to go for the all in, and he's more or less going to be left behind unless they pick a support like Tom Kench or Braum. He's going to be left out to dry.
What I'm expecting right now, looking at this matchup, would be an actual Vars mid, because that way
Mm-hmm.
he could be able to poke and set up the team fight that way. Then you engage
Mm-hmm.
on with the Amumu, Braun coming in. Uh,
There's the Tarek, so it looks like it's going to be a Varus AD carry.
and the Braun's going to take the mid lane. Not a fan of the Braun Syndra lane. Not a fan indeed. And so far, it seems like Final Esports really has a mindset, like has a plan going into the game. Like we see the Maokai, Hecarim, Ashe, Leona. These guys are bloodthirsty. They want to get into these huge team fights and really just bash the faces of the Tenacious Turtles in. However, when it comes to Tenacious Turtles, we see Aurelia, which is more pick, split, pushy, and then going with some heavy team fight, Amum and Brand, then paired up with some poke. I'm curious as to what they got in mind. What are they going to try to do in order to win this game? But we're gonna
Yeah, it's
see what.
definitely going to be incredibly difficult from Tenacious Turtles, seeing as their 5v5 isn't great, their poke isn't great, and in all honesty, I'm not 100% sure what they want to try to accomplish with the composition. The Tark is really good, and I'll give them that. It was a really nice call for them to pick it,
Mhm.
since it's going to be able to defend them against the front line and the incredible amount of damage that the Syndra can put out, while the Hecarim and the Maokai both try to dive in the Ash Arrow. But I'm not 100% sure what they're trying to go with this team comp, because what Amumu's looking to do is he's looking to lock them down and CC them. That's great. That's perfect for the brand. That's a great combo. And then with the Tark into their team, it's great. But the Vars and the Irelia really seem out of place. Vars does not want to fight. He wants to sit in the back and poke until he has the ability to fight. But with this team comp, they're looking to pull the trigger any moment they get, especially with the enemy team comp who's looking to do the exact same. Vars really isn't in a good position here. He's just going to get absolutely obliterated by their front line. And Irelia, she doesn't really have much of a role to play here. They've got 3 tanky champions, and if Syndra goes to and decides to build it, she can be incredibly tanky. Ash can get a Guardian Angel and completely make the Irelia ignore her. So if Irelia doesn't get ahead here, Tenacious Turtles is going to be in a lot of trouble.
I could see this team comp working, however, for Tenacious Turtles. Let's say you put the Aurelian top lane on split push duty and Varus on bot lane, same thing, both just shoving in their lanes. And then you got 3 champion mid lane that you just cannot engage on. Because if they go and pile up to fight 3 people, not only do they have a great amount of CC coming in from the Taric, the Amu, and the Braund, but they also have a ridiculous amount of damage while being invulnerable with Taric's ult. So maybe that could be a saving grace for the Tenacious Turtles. And also, like, we need to remember the fact that if they're able to win lane, then we got a completely different game on our hands because
Mm-hmm.
Final Esports won't be able to teamfight them. So a lot being betted on this early game. We really see a confident Tenacious Turtles going in against the second place team right now, which is Final Esports.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot is still up for grabs, but I'm really curious. For sure, we're gonna be looking at that top lane, really seeing this Irelia pick, how prepared it was, and did Final Esports manage to get Tenacious Turtles king on the back foot by banning 2 of his champions?
I still feel like the pick and ban phase was a little bit questionable, as
Mm-hmm.
Camille was open, but she wasn't picked up. LeBlanc was open, she wasn't picked up. Kha'Zix, Rengar, all of these ridiculously powerful champions that we're seeing in the LCS and almost every other team is picking in other leagues. They're just absolutely incredibly strong champions, and I'm really surprised that they didn't get picked.
But to be fair, some of those champions were nerfed last patch, and we haven't been able to see so far in the LCS any like how they adjusted, like Rengar losing his CC immunity, which was really.
No, Rengar still has a CC immunity last
Oh,
time I
it's
checked.
next patch.
I believe so. Last
Oh,
time I played Rengar, I completely ignored a Cassiopeia ult.
so I'm gonna shut up. Don't listen to me anymore.
I
uh,
know the LCS has been picking Graves up because of the lethality damage. I'm surprised we didn't see that. He's been putting in a lot of work.
and we're on the loading screen, soon going to be in game. So you heard it. Our predictions so far going both, I think, for Final Esports. Just a beautiful team comp out of them, a very strong team fight, and just overall good champions as well. Like, none of those champions are bad. Leona could be the only questionable pick, but then again, going with the team comp they're doing, it makes perfect sense. I would have loved seeing maybe a bronze support. I don't remember if it was open when they picked
It
Leona,
was.
or just one of them, like maybe another support, but it's still a very, very scary team comp. However, Leona has exhaust, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I would have expected an ignite coming out of her. What do you think?
Um, I feel like the exhaust was just so that she can work to peel the Irelia even harder than they could, or to just negate some of the brand ult damage, as it's going to be a little ridiculous, especially if the Amumu can get a good ult and clump them up in fights.
Hmm. And we get a pause coming in as well, right off the
Oh,
get-go.
yeah.
So, a remake
Jin
and a
is AFK.
pause. That's amazing. I'm scared about bot lane for Tenacious Turtles,
Mm-hmm.
especially at level 6. I don't really see how Final Esports won't get a kill there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
As
gonna
long as
need.
Tenacious plays it right, they should
Mhm.
be completely fine, though. But if they misstep, then it could be fatal.
The Ashe Leona does not forgive, especially if Hecarim comes down bot lane to help them. So Queen's really gonna need to be aware of this and be ready to jump in as soon as Ashe gets level 6. Because that's gonna be a bloodbath we're gonna want to see. But yeah, I feel like this whole team comp about Tenacious Turtle really comes down to what can Queen do, because she needs
Mm-hmm.
to get Aurelia going. She needs to prevent Braun from being obliterated by Syndra, which is a very
Mm-hmm.
scary matchup. And she needs to make sure that bot lane does not get caught at level 6 or by too many ganks. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really her time to shine.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of issues and a lot of ways that people really have to not just pull their own weight, but to really step it up this game. You know, Queen really has to pull in and try to make sure that every lane is ahead, because if not, it can be really terrible. And they have to make sure that the Irelia gets ahead of the Maokai, because if not, then that could be just ridiculously terrible for him, as the Maokai can just get super tanky and Irelia will never kill anyone.
I'm curious as if will Aurelia go for the Blade of the Rune King build with some Wits End to go 2 attack speed items over the Triforce
Mm.
and just really try to go for this Maokai kill. That's really, I feel like by the second item she goes for, we're gonna really see what her goal is. Is she gonna try to really split push and
A
just
summoner has
outduel the
reconnected.
Maokai? Or is she really gonna play more for a roaming playstyle? Make sure that Braun is ahead over the Syndra and shut down this mid laner. That can be very scary when snowballing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Syndra's definitely a scary champion.
But that's the problem. Final Esports have been playing this pick and ban phase so well that every single champion on their team is scary when getting ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems Hecarim forgot to buy.
Oh.
We're gonna see when he realizes it, but if Tenacious Turtles were to go in right
Welcome to
now,
Summoner's Rift.
obviously they don't know, but they would have an incredible advantage. And maybe that's what's coming?
Oh, they're solid. They're gonna not clear the ward.
A nice ward, though. That prevented
Mm.
a lot.
30 seconds until
But
minions
Hecarim's still not
spawn.
going back.
Yeah, solid still hasn't noticed. He's just gonna sit there and continue to hope for the best.
We were
This.
talking a lot about it's important for Tenacious Turtles to win lane. Well, having an advantage in the jungle is one of the best ways to win every single lane.
Sadly, human error is definitely a thing that we have to account for when we're playing the game of League of Legends.
I'm not too familiar with the Varus's build, but is Longsword 3 pots something?
You start longsword 3 pots against a pokey lane or a lane that looks like they're going to go in. You get the 3 pots so that you can heal yourself up faster, and you get the longsword so that you can get your Dirk on your first back with only 750 gold.
Hmm.
It's just a quicker way to get straight to Dirk and get rolling. But other than that, there's no real advantage to it.
But still a dangerous decision considering that you're facing a Leona that can jump on you and stun you. Not going
Yeah,
for
it's
that
the
ADL.
sacrifice of the health for the potions.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little bit riskier, but it's high risk, high reward if you can make it work out and not die in lane.
We see just a mirror startup. Hecarim realized his mistake about going to buy before the red spawns. So he does the bullet there. I'm pretty sure his team would have been pretty mad at him if that was a key factor in deciding the outcome of the game.
Well, human error may be an issue that we have to talk about in this game, but now it has nothing to do with the jungler's items. For now. Wow, a bot lane fight.
Yeah, very early on, and Varus just really taking a good chunk of health out of Ashe. Putting those potions to work already. It's a very good trade by him. And we see both junglers clearing their camp. We're gonna see where they're gonna go. We see Amumu going towards topside. It really engages, but not too much so far.
You ahead of me. Nope.
I don't think so.
Are you at 312?
315, 16, 17.
Yeah. Okay. My bad.
Alright, good. So Mumu trying to gank top. Manages still to put some advantage onto Aurelia, which is very
Now it looks like he's going mid. Oh, the flash.
Syndra barely escaping that one. And hopefully it's going to give some chance to Brond, who has been on the receiving end so far from this lane. We see him already down 5 CS, which is not a position you want to be in. But an even worse position is Maokai right now. Awesome freeze by King. Really looking to starve Maokai.
Mumu's bot. He's gonna land the snare. He's going in. He's getting a lot of damage. Exhaust comes out on the agent. A lot of damage being put onto him. He's gonna live. The stun comes out, and Queen of Hentai is gonna be in a little bit of trouble. And she's gonna flash out, and everything's gonna be all hunky dory with a flash gone on Queen, on agent, and an exhaust gone from Canadian.
Queen really trying to put that Amumu pick to work very early in the game. We saw 3 ganks so far, 2 of them successful. But as
in mid lane, he's coming in from Sol. He's gonna get the damage off, and Screen Hunter goes down. First blood, the Star Killer. A great gank.
Yeah, very nice gank. Just after stealing the bugs, very standard stuff. But Brond trying to use the advantage of the gank from Amumu, pushing a little bit too far forward without wards, and he goes down for first blood. So maybe some issues on the horizon for the turtles. But
yeah, already first blood going over to Star Killer. That could be very bad, especially in a matchup like this where you expect Brand to more or less try to win that lane.
We're gonna probably be seeing a lot more of Queen towards mid now that an advantage has been taken. And meanwhile, if we look at the top and bottom lanes, top is hugely in favor of the turtles. Just King doing a very good job so far. Over 10 CS ahead and still has the freeze.
He's definitely winning this matchup.
The question is mostly going to be, is it going to be enough?
Yeah, can he keep it up?
Nice vision control overall by the blue side so far. The pink ward being cleared by Mumu, really trying to find where Queen's going to go and play accordingly. Which I think is the best way to do so far, because you know Queen's going to be looking for some more blood. But maybe it's going to be Solid Pop first, as we see him going towards the ball lane.
So he's running into the bot. He's going to get the E. He's going to go for the Varus, but he's actually going to get onto Warlock. The slow's coming out from Agent. The heal's going to come out. Damage is going, but he's going to get out completely fine. The teleport's coming in from King. He wants in on this, but it's going to get canceled as they realize that this might not be the greatest fight for them.
Yeah, the TP coming just a little bit late, leaving pretty much King on a 1v3 if he would have went into that. So wise decision, canceling it. But that means now Maokai has TP advantage.
We're definitely gonna try to look for a play down bot side.
Or at this point, he could just use that advantage to break King's freeze. Take a lot of damage. He doesn't care. He can just spam.
Disconnected.
Oh, and Nomadic Creates is disconnected, but he's back.
That could have been scary. No pause coming
Yeah.
in, though. Remember that each team are allowed 5 minutes. So already the first pause came from it was from
Final
the
Esports.
traders.
Oh, it's from Final Esports
Oh, okay.
because Agent had DC'd.
They used about 1 or 2 minutes, so nothing too big so far. Hopefully it's not gonna be a problem for them. We know sometimes the connection to the WAC servers can be a little bit picky.
Yeah, especially during custom hours.
So we're going in at 8 minutes in. What do you think we can expect to see in the upcoming minutes?
Oh, well, with the advantage going onto the mid lane being Star Killer, he's probably going to try to look for a solo kill on the Screen Hunter. The CS is going towards Queen, so I think she might have a bit of an XP advantage, which would really help her, and she does, I was right. But the bot lane is really not looking good for them, even though there's a CS lead, the damage and the poke is coming out. I think King is really going to try to look to make a play up here in this top lane as he's going in, he's getting the Qs off, but that's all it's going to be. The 20 CS lead, though.
Amumu level 6. So, are they gonna... Would the Turtles be able to secure the Drake for this? Or is the Sidra advantage in mid lane too scary for them to engage?
Yeah, I'd have to go with part 2. Oh, King's going to go in top lane. But I'd have to go with part 2, seeing as that Syndra damage is absolutely ridiculous, especially on the Nomad when he's so behind right now. And King is going all in here. He's going to get the ults off. He gets the Q. A really good trade, but not a kill.
And that's
Blue
pretty
going
much
over to
gonna
Star
force Maokai to TP back to lane, which would be insanely painful. Because Irelia still has that freeze. Insane wave management from Irelia. I don't think King's lane pushed a single time so far during the game.
I'm pretty sure he's a Smurf.
Yeah, he should be challenger.
We gotta get somebody on this guy. Nobody has this good wave control.
Yeah.
So it's
Jerkson,
really
get out
not
of
in a good
there.
place for Sora, though.
And Sora not backing. That
Definitely has to try
could
to
be dangerous, though.
Seeing as King has his Sheen, he can just try to go for the minion champion hop.
Queen putting some attention bot, but not really being able to find something.
Oh, the E comes out, the ult misses, and he's gonna have to flash. The stun does come out, though. Dark's ult's coming out. The devastating charge, and he's gonna go on the Queen. She's going incredibly low. The stun comes out, and it's the turnaround kill onto Solid, but Queen still passes away. Warlock is getting a lot of damage put onto him, and he gets stunned up. A double kill for Star Killer. The flash comes out from Screen Hunter as nothing comes out of it, but Canadian is in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of damage going on to him, and he's gonna die.
What the hell just happened?
A 3-for-1
We
trade.
mentioned
Inside
both
the
of
turtle.
these teams wanted to go for team fights. They get level 8, and all hell breaks loose. They 5v5 in bot lane, and that's
It
what I'm
doesn't look
saying,
like
that
it's over
doesn't
yet.
work.
And Star Killer goes down too.
So 3 for 2 for the Turtles. Very good fight, and that should secure the Drake.
They did lose a jungler, but she's coming right on down.
Very nice decision
Definitely
by
gonna need
King
her.
to stay after the fight, just lurking in the bush, waiting just for Syndra to overextend a little bit, and getting the chomp.
Sadly, it is not going to be an Agent W. Saw Sneaky do it. We believe in you.
I highly doubt that it was planned from Sneaky.
Oh no, it totally was.
Yeah. So, sorry, who am I kidding? It was all planned to the...
It's all
lack of
scripted. The
advantage.
LCS is scripted.
Exactly. Like hockey and football.
Everything's scripted. Oh, the stun comes out into Screen Hunter, but Surprisingly, Starkiller doesn't try to go for the solo kill. Yeah, thanks, Obama.
King going back to lane with a Phage and a Sheen against a cloth armor from Maokai. Ouch. That's been saying, that says a lot about the kind of lane that has been going on so far in top lane. And especially after getting a kill and an assist bot and double buff, I don't see King starting to lose this lane anytime soon.
Yeah, no, we said that he'd have to make plays, and he's doing that. Sora's definitely getting starved up here. Pretty soon, he's going to be completely gone, and he might actually be a little bit useless in this early game until he can learn to scale up and get some extra CS. Oh, the W comes out. Solid gets the E. Oh, but King's going to try to look for the outplay, throws out his blades. Starkiller goes very low as well as Sora, and he's going to get out with almost full HP. Really well played by King there to avoid the gank and the death.
Using Aurelia's mobility to the maximum, queuing to Syndra, flashing away while using the ult to heal himself. Very nicely played, and really making this whole fight top a bad exchange for Final Esports. They invested so much. We saw Hecarim ults being used.
Oh, the ult comes out from Screen Hunter. He's looking for the solo kill, and he might actually get it here as Starkiller goes down to Screen Hunter.
That should
incredibly
never
good
have
play.
happened. Syndra was 3 kills ahead and 30 CS. Greeting a little bit, underestimating the Grand's full damage, and just in a perfect lane setting for it.
Yeah, definitely getting a Negatron cloak now. Doesn't want that to happen again.
But will it be too late? Is she gonna lose her turret for it?
Yeah, they might get first blood tower gold.
Blue team
Uh-oh, and Kane's gonna look up to go on to Sora. He's getting some damage out and gets the Q, and Sora's half HP for a little bit of a trade. Holy, the damage is coming out from Nomadic Race, but the ult comes out, the Cosmic Radiance is coming down from Warlock. The E comes out and he passes away. Warlock is gonna look for the damage. The Chain of Corruption is gonna go on to Solid, but not much is gonna happen. Nomadic Race is gonna have to try to get out of there. The heal comes through, he's gonna keep walking. Warlock's gonna have to flash. The piercing arrow does not hit. Not like it would have mattered. 1-0 trade.
So a lot just happened during this last minute. So first of all,
That's getting a little hard.
Turtle grabbing the first blood turret. That's a huge advantage. And then just turning the gank around. Ash feeling safe because Hecarim was in the surroundings, but little did she know Turtles just jumped on her and killed her. And speaking of killing, we see Sora who might be even in a whole lot of pain.
Ooh, Queen's going up, the E comes out, the stun from Screen Hunter, and that's going to be a pretty easy kill onto Sora. Trying to greet a little bit, but sadly, everybody was MIA.
And that's another turret. Really, Final Esports not enjoying that early game so far. They do have the advantage late game, but they need to get there. And
Yeah,
so
they
far it's
definitely
looking
have
good.
to make it last that long. Nomad is already doing some incredible damage with that piercing arrow, and if they were going to try to look for the 5v5, it could be really bad for the side of Final Esports.
But they have to. They don't have an option. They could try to go for a pick using the Ashe, Leona, Syndra combo. But it's been Turtles just playing so well as a team. I highly doubt they're gonna get caught. Red buff going to Irelia to King, like Maokai, was not just being completely crushed right now top lane.
Yeah, it's definitely really sad for the side of for the side of Final Esports, as Turtles is getting a really big lead right now.
We see so far it's about a 2k gold lead, which is completely absurd in 15 minutes. So really Final Esports needing to find a way to solve this top lane, needing to just rescue Maokai. Otherwise, I don't think they're gonna make it to the late game. Bot lane still pushing. Ashe is pretty low, might be in kill range soon, so they need to be careful about that. But having a Syndra and Hecarim nearby definitely pretty much assures that nothing's gonna happen.
No matter Warlock are in bad positions, they don't have flash, but Canadian tries to go for the blind ult, not much comes out of it. He misses it, assuming that they were in the bush, but sadly they were not.
Thinking that they were still curing a ward or something. But that's a very important cooldown going off. Especially when Drake's about to spawn and we see an Ocean Drake. Which, quite frankly, is not the best outcome for Turtles, but far from being the worst. And, oh, the damage coming out from Aurelion onto Malphite.
It's definitely disgusting.
Turtles just finding a lead somehow, some way, by some chaotic fights. Like you said, Turtles were losing on their PS trade up.
Oh, ooh, almost a bad play. Matacrates gets his Q. Piercing arrow doing a lot, but King is going to look for the dive. The ult comes out, the twisted advance from the Maokai. He's going to put some damage. The tower is doing a lot, and King's going to have to flash away from the Maokai.
A little bit overestimating his lead. Tower diving in Maokai is rarely a good idea. And
Yeah, unless it's got 2 HP and you're a full HP Echo, in which case, all power to you.
but really Maokai is surviving. And that's the issue with Irelia against Maokai, is that every single ult you use, and that's where the damage comes from, you power up Maokai's heal, and you put him a little bit closer to being able to heal himself, which is not very nice. But using just pressure across the board, Turtles are up into the third turret, 3 turrets. Some very scary stuff coming out, and King just protecting that mid-wave turret, and nobody wants anything to do with him after what happened top earlier.
Oh, no. King is definitely doing a lot of damage, and he is actually going to go for the Blade of the Ruined King, but it's with the Trinity Force.
Yeah.
Right now, they're going to look to 5-man invade. Maybe just go mid, try to run it down, see if they can end this game before 25 minutes. Solid's going to get a little bit caught. They know where King is. He's going to get the E and devastating charge. The Ashe Tarot comes in. The damage is going through. And the Q comes out from the Penta. She gets the ult. The Cosmic Radiance is dropping down. The Piercing Arrow does a lot of damage. The Brando is going to kill off them all.
Going over. Ouch, what a nightmare. They finally had a peak. They finally had it their way back into the game. And a Mumu Varus combo, their ulti is drawn on top of it, crushing the hopes and dreams of final esports. That was brutal.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And meanwhile, Maokai's still top. Had
Yeah,
no
he's
ward where he could TP, but
He got a
taking
turret.
that fight without Maokai was a little bit ballsy. And they got punished heavily for it.
It was definitely a risky play, but it was a play they really had to make there. It was they're in a really bad situation here, and Turtles know it. They know that they're going to that File Esports is going to try to do anything they can to get Turtles into a bad position. But they also know that if they try to put them in a bad position, they're strong enough that they can just say, no, 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 we win this fight, not you.
But 3 ults on Irelia was getting caught completely off guard, not noticing that the bush was guarded. Was that a little bit too much, perhaps, being invested on just the top laner?
Yeah, definitely using all of their ults in a position where they really shouldn't have. After the Ashe ult, I think it was pretty safe to say that King was going to die. There wasn't really much that they could do about it, but they used all their ults, and then it's just a free cleanup for the side of Turtles.
At this point, how can Final Esports come back?
Oh, they're going to have to look for more picks, and here it is. Warlock getting chain CC'd perfectly. The W comes out from Ashe. He's in a bit of a bad position, as Starkiller's going to go for a lot of damage. The Piercing Arrow chunking the hell out of him, though. Screen's going to look for a kill. He's going to get one. He's gonna get a 1v2 kill off Sora.
Finally,
Wow.
Sports finally managing to get a pick, and this time a clean one. Nothing Tart can do. Goes down, but Scream equalizes it almost immediately. So really, just finally Sports not being able to dig themselves out of the hole. The Astro's called.
Turtle's doing his legend. King is gonna try to go for his legendary 20-minute Baron call.
They
And
see it.
looks
Though.
like they're gonna get it.
They do see it. Are they gonna
Yes.
be able to react
Solid's
on
looking to
time?
run in. He's got his ult, but he gets stunned up.
He stole it!
He stole it with the smite! Solid gets the smite steal, but he's gonna die for it. But an amazing steal from Solid as he gets the smite on.
Wow, and bot turret going down. Is that
Wow.
what Finally Sports needed?
It might not be, as King's gonna get a bunch of damage onto Agent. The teleport's coming in from Sora, but I don't think he wants that.
He wants nothing to do with that, really. Just canceling that
Nomad.
teleport.
A little something from Targa.
Bad position, but they're just gonna have a gentleman's agreement and walk away from each other there.
Will Turtles manage to close the game despite that? Because that's a huge number. Through the Baron buff being able to end. Or just
It's a long-
take the turret.
It's definitely a long timer there, but I don't think it's going to be enough to necessarily get them back into the game off that. But it's definitely the start that they really needed.
If there was a way back for Final Esports, that was it. And we're down to only about 4k gold, which sure is still pretty heavy, but it's not that bad.
Well, it's as it used to be for sure. So, excuse me. Oh, Saul getting caught out. The piercing arrow, the E from Irelia, and the chain of corruption. He's just dropped. Pick coming out in in a bad position, not a lot of wards, and he face checks the bush.
That's gonna be a
Yeah, it's gonna be Ocean Drain for Turtles. Looks pretty free to them. Not sure what they're doing. They're trying to pull it out of the pit, I guess, but they don't really have a jungler. But Final Esports is gonna try to trade the turret for it, knowing that they can't get anything out of it. And again, the securing with the piercing arrow.
But they're gonna get
Not
collapsed
to
upon?
I don't
No.
know. This is gonna be no collapse.
With Amuno down, they did not want to go for any shenanigans, flash Q into ult. Just playing it safe, knowing they're still ahead. And a second Ocean Drake's really gonna be helpful for Varus, who's gonna be shooting these arrows over and over, and nothing's gonna stop him. He has two oceans.
Oh, Queen's gonna get arrowed. The stun's coming out. He's getting chain CC. The damage is gonna come through the Leona ult, and Agent's gonna pick up that kill. Queen being a little cocky there, being really overextended, which she shouldn't have been, having no teammates around her, just trying to kill Baron minions. He's coming out from Starkiller. He gets a stun to Screen Hunter. The ult's coming through. Saul is gonna get stopped right in this place. A very good stun from Warlock. Balls are going to drop. Starkiller is going to try to get a little bit more damage onto the side of Turtle. But Nomadicrates is here. The piercing arrow hits hard. The volley is going to come out from Agent to disengage, but Starkiller is going to walk out remembering that damage.
Final Esports really trying to put every single inch that Turtles give them and stretch it as far as they can. And that was still quite the damage put on the mid turret. Is this a comeback coming in? I can't believe
Definitely
it.
a possibility.
I can't believe it.
Oh. King is a little caught out. Saul's going to try to go for the 1v1. He gets Courage of the Colossus, but this is definitely something that he didn't think through. He's going to get stunned up, but the solo kill comes out from King. The 1v2 victory for him. He's going to walk away, head held high, knowing that he just made a huge play for his team that might have brought them even further into this game, as the gold lead is just increased by 400.
Didn't even ran out King. 2 bad winters against him, and he still gets a 5-1-5 performance. What can you do? that's definitely something that's gonna be scary for the next games from Turtles.
Hey, definitely gotta try to get him banned now.
But
There's nothing
even
that you
if we
can
focus on him, we see 4-1 Braun, 3 Ovars, just really huge carries.
Oh, the stun comes out onto Sora. Oh, the stun from Queen. The arrow's gonna go on the Screen Hunter as no kills have been brought out yet. The Champ Cruncher goes on to Agent. The ult's coming in from Tarek. Starkiller is getting popped up. This is a very hectic fight as Agent drops. Queen's very low. Canadian is getting super low. The piercing arrow comes out and kills him. The flash stun from Warlock as the damage is coming through from King. Not much is gonna come out of it. Starkiller in an incredibly bad position. He pushes them back, but Screen is not going to let this happen. He's going to get the W and the E, and that's going to be a kill for him.
And another trip going down for Turtles. Again, as soon as you start thinking there could be a comeback, Final Esports doing it, we see just... Look at this vision being established. They got a really nice control over their jungle. You think that perhaps they're gonna be able to come back, and then this happens. Just another great fight by Turtles, really using every single bit of misinformation to their advantage.
Oh, the volley is coming out. The twisted advance is coming through from Sora, but the stun's gonna go through. Canadian's gonna get a nice ult on the Warlock. They don't have Cosmic Radiance for this fight. It's a little hectic, and they're gonna back off, realizing their mistake. And they're just going to go recall, try to reset the waves, or they may look to rotate, get a little bit more vision, then they're going to back it up. Red buff is not there.
Nobody wanting that fight. Turtles not having the cooldowns up already. And quite frankly, they don't need to fight if they don't want to. They're still ahead. We saw them almost give back the game to Final Esports. So they definitely don't want to be doing anything else. We're getting to 30 minutes. There's going to be a Baron Asher coming up back soon. And another
10
Drake,
seconds.
which is going to be the third Ocean.
That's going to be incredibly good for Turtles as they're going to be
Final
able to poke
Esports.
more. They definitely have to try to deny it. Oh, the arrow comes out. The Tarek's there to save the day. He gets the stun. The ult's coming out from King, and he's going to put a lot of damage out, but the tankiness is really there. The exhaust goes on to Solid. The Pillar of Flame comes up, but it doesn't land. The ult comes out from him, and the piercing arrow just completely obliterates Agent as he's going to fall, and they're going to look to rotate onto this Baron as Nomad's going to try to get one more piercing arrow out and walk away.
That should be the Baron. Baron call has been made.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Solid's going to be here for the hero steal again. The smite's coming through. Queen definitely not going to risk it this time.
Very, very scary. They had to jump on Irene. They put in all the damage onto her. And not only does she still lives, but she gets an assist. And Ash goes down giving up the Nash. That's just a nightmare going on in esports. And they can't seem to wake up. They're just falling farther and farther behind.
This is a really bad position to be in, especially for the side of Final Esports. Solid still hasn't finished a full item yet at 31 minutes. He's been put so far into the hole that there's absolutely nothing that he can do to try to get a lead. And every time he does, he just gets put back down in the dirt. And they're going to start up this Ocean Drake. It's just over with, and they're gonna walk right back to mid. They've got Baron, they've got Ocean Drake. They want that inhibitor, and it's looking pretty juicy and free for them right now. As Nomad already has his Edge of Night, it's gonna be really hard to engage on him. Stun misses barely. Nomad with a good dodge as well as Queen. They're gonna auto the minions, and they're just gonna push it in while King's just gonna split push top. Nobody can deal with him. Stun comes out onto Warlock. Nothing's gonna happen. Piercing arrow. And Starkiller gets chunked by the piercing arrow. Volley doing absolutely nothing to try to stop them. Queen's trying to look to get in here. Piercing arrow is going to miss. Solid looks like he wants to engage here. Stun does come out. And bam! Getting kills Agent. He's gonna flash out with his tail between his legs. As he gets stunned. A beautiful stun to be much as Canadian goes down from the Pillar of Flame is gonna kill him. And they're just gonna try to push down this mid lane tower.
That could be the game. As
It may very well be the game.
Nexus turrets, the call doesn't seem to be coordinated.
Oh, Queen's getting a little hurt. Queen's taking some damage. It's gonna be fine. The piercing arrow comes through. They're gonna get that top turret. They're gonna try to get that inhibitor as well.
They should get
Oh.
as the following goes this till then, and they turn into the Nexus.
The piercing arrow from Nomad.
And stun by
Oh,
Syndra.
another 3-man stun from Starkiller extremely well. Starkiller is gonna pop his barrier, but it's not really gonna do much. Some beautiful stuns coming out from Starkiller, and another beautiful E to deny Warlock. The arrow's gonna come through the stun onto Warlock. The CC chain. Syndra's gonna get destroyed. Yell's coming out from Mumu as the Cosmic Radiance is doing a lot of work. Agent is about to get popped really quickly. Port comes out, and down goes Agent. Canadian's gonna go down, and with her, their Nexus. With him, sorry.
What an amazing game. Proving us all wrong. This was just getting back out there. And province has hit 6 times, which is completely amazing considering the game we've had.
Mhm. Yeah, each member of Turtle's really coming through and playing it extremely well. Putting out a lot of damage, too. An extremely clean game from them, only dying 6 times and barely giving up any objectives that they had to. It was just a real strain onto Final Esports as they just got choked out of absolutely every objective that they could possibly want.
We're going to take a small break as the MVP for the game is being decided, and the interview is going to be coming up very soon. We'll be right back.
Yeah,
Okay,
but,
very cool.
yeah, but
And
this
we're
time we're
back with
not
the interview
interviewing you
of our
anchoring.
MVP. Pretty much no surprise there. We got King with us. How
How's
how
it
did it
going?
go? How do you feel after a game like that?
I mean, we feel pretty good. I mean, last time we played this team, I wasn't here, and we had our Phil top laner that we actually had to get rid of, unfortunately. But it was way better this time. We communicated. We actually uh, rotated for objective instead of just mindlessly pushing shit. So it worked out a lot better than it did last time, to my knowledge.
We saw Turtles using two bans trying to put you out of your comfort zone. Uh, but then you pull off that performance on Irelia. Can we even like ban you out of your champions?
So the thing is that I'm used to getting banned out quite a bit. So I've just taken it upon myself to learn at least like 8 to 9 different champions for each lanes. This way, it doesn't matter. Like no matter what, I'll just pick something regardless that I'm adept in. So, I used to play in a bunch of other tournaments too. And this one, I used to play Aurelia for every single game. So it's kind of just like you gotta go far back to find my Aurelia games. But I know how to play it. So
You gotta go far back, but when you go far back, you like the results.
exactly.
We saw after the picks and bans, uh, we felt like maybe you were kind of you got
Throwing yourself under the
outdraft,
bus.
yeah, by their comp. Uh, was it a feeling that you had as a team as well, or were you confident in that team comp going against Final Esports?
No, we were confident. We had a good mind in how to counteract their engage, because the main reason why we picked the Varric, we picked the Taric, we pick all the other things is because it's kind of just like okay, when we get engaged on, we have two fail safes to stop the other person from engaging on us. So even if Maokai engages or Hecarim engages, we have the Varus ulti to lock down the other tank. So we
Mm-hmm.
don't really have to worry about it too much. It's like we all knew the team was very good with positioning this time. Like it was very very good in spacing around. Like whenever Hecarim tried to ult or whenever anyone tried to get anything onto us, like for instance if Ashe tried to pick or Leona tried to pick, we were always separate to the point where even if they got one, they would only get one, and then four can converge onto the other one, and hopefully they would use more than one ulti to get um what's it called to get the player. So we were just going into it based on okay, so they have a good engage, we have a very good elongated fight, which is
Mm-hmm.
what we were going for. We like strong engage is good, but um, we like elongated fights a lot better because our team comps do a lot better against other teams who try to end it fast when we can survive the first round and then we have 2 more rounds to push out. So it's kind of just like we play with that mentality. We play with them, we see what they pick, and if we don't like what we got, then we switch it around, basically.
We saw a little bit after the Nasher steal by Solid that Final Esports was coming back slowly into the game, perhaps maybe grind like reducing the lead.
So
Was there any like alarms going off during the team, or were you confident throughout
I
that
mean,
time?
no, we stayed calm. We kind of we kind of like freaked out a little bit because we didn't know how it got stolen. But then we saw the Hecarim was 2 levels higher than our jungler. Um, but it ended up being okay because even though they did get the Baron, their team wasn't strong enough to really use the Baron that well. Because I could still pick off Syndra or Ashe, and I could still fend off. I could still basically fight Ashe with any of the other tanks there or Syndra there. It didn't really matter too much. They didn't have any ignites to use against me, so that was another good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could just free heal off of everything that I did. I just basically abused that fact. There was never a term to douse my steroid basically,
Mm-hmm.
and then my one job when I play is to try to kill the carry and make them waste as many ults as possible. So when they fight the 5v4, but everyone's at half HP and no ultis, there's 4 ultis to use against them, which worked out very well because we had the brand, we had the Tark ulti to stop them from actually engaging onto us.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up working out very, very well for us.
We won't be keeping you too long. Just a final question.
Yep.
So far you're 2-on-2, two interviews with 2 wins. Next win you guys get, are we gonna get you as the MVP again?
I hope so. I don't know. My girlfriend might take it. My bot lane might take it. Our mid laner might take it. It doesn't like. Honestly, we all just play our best, and we all just play to the best of our ability. That's all we do.
I think the real
So-
question is, are you hoping for your girlfriend to take it over you for once?
I think she'd like it a lot. So I hope she gets it next time. I hope she gets it the next round around.
I mean, to be fair, we did give it to her last time.
Yeah, she did do a very good job that game. So, and especially because like even though Vi was banned out, she has other junglers that she can play. So
Mhm.
it's very good seeing that she's more adept on more than one jungler and that she's still very good at objective control regardless.
Well,
It's a
thank
very
you
good
very
plus
much
to
for your
have.
time. It's a pleasure to have you here, and hopefully,
Alright.
or maybe, hopefully, we're gonna get your girlfriend next time instead of you, and
Okay.
well, we'll see.
Shots fired.
Thank you
Alright.
very much for your time.
Alright, no problem.
And we're gonna be right back soon after for our next game, which is gonna be Night Raid against Dank Knights Rising. See you then. And we're back for another game, which is going to be Night Raid against Dank Knights Rising. On the blue side is going to be Night Raid. And we're starting off with a Kog'Maw ban.
Very interesting Kog'Maw ban. Followed right up with the Zyra ban, which is pretty, and then an Ezreal ban.
They really don't like Cypher.
They really do not like Cypher in any way, shape, or form. Apparently, or they just don't like Immortal Cats, AP Kog'Maw, and Ezreal.
Maybe.
Either way, they really don't like something.
Yeah. But we saw just last game that even when you're target banned, you can still go and wreck faces.
And of course, Chase the Clone gets Shaco banned away from him. That's a clear target ban.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get General Zyra Syndra ban. I'm a little confused here. I mean, unless Cypher plans to pull out some weird 80 carry pick we're not used to and completely dominate with it, I don't really see the point for a Kog'Maw or an Ezreal ban ever since the nerfs to Kog'Maw, and Ezreal's never really been ban worthy. And then there's the stereotypical Zac pick against Yizhong, because I know he's a good Zac.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the first pick Maokai, because it got through.
Night Raid, being the underdog team for this game, seems to be looking to just be as disruptive as possible, banning out some very unconventional champions, but really going for the target bans. Whereas Dank Knights.
Dick Knight Rises. Sorry if you mess up your name, it's a little confusing.
Oh yeah, I will. Dank Knights are going for the safe approach, just going for the Zyra, Syndra, Zac. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Sure, it hurts NTR, but not as bad.
And they're gonna pick up the Gnar and the Varus. You know, two very stereotypical champions. The Gnar going super well into Maokai, especially in the laning phase, just being able to outbully and outsustain. Well, Varus, he's Varus.
Yeah.
There's just nobody who should be picked over Varus as far as 80 carries go, unless you want to run a Jin comp.
Gragas following up the Maokai pick. That's interesting.
Hopefully Yizhong grabs Smite. There we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, with the Azir from Eternal Shadow. That's a pick that I really like to see. I love Azir, and I love to watch Azir's play.
It
I don't know
doesn't
about
seem
the
to be
Ignite.
fitting the Maokai though.
What they're planning to do, I believe, with this comp is they're looking for the heavy engage, and then Azir sits in the back and plays like a little wimp. He just sits there, and he's going to use his soldiers like a coward, and he's going to make other people fight for him. But it's going to work because he's playing Azir, and heavy frontline plus Azir equals a win at 30 minutes.
I'd love to do that in my work, just like send people do my job while I'm just safe from all the trouble. That's
or,
good.
you know, just summon some people made of sand to stab people you don't like.
Yeah.
Either way, it all works out in the end for everyone.
But I'm
And
not
it
sure
looks
how
like
safe he's going to be, because we see a Lux and a Warwick coming in.
Ooh, Warwick is not fun to play against with Lux. Warwick is not fun to play against as Azir. Since his ult, for whatever reason, you can't be stunned while you're mid-cast. So he's going to jump at the Azir, and Azir's pretty much going to be boned from there.
It's probably because jump over the wall. But
Well, I mean, you'd think that'd work with Kha'Zix too in that case, but it doesn't.
Warwick jumps higher.
Nah, I'm pretty sure that's inaccurate. The point still stands. It shouldn't work that way. Riot, fix your champions, please. That's not balanced. Shyvana shouldn't be able to do it either. If I can stop somebody while I'm if I can flash out while I'm midly sin kick, then a dragon can be pushed away by a bunch of people with giant shields.
But yeah, keep in mind that this is the reworked Warwick, so we haven't had time to see him in the LCS. We don't know if it's really going to be picked up by pros.
He's been played a few times in EU, but NA doesn't really care for it. I think like 1 or 2 games like Dignitas played it once, I believe. But Dignitas plays weird things all the time.
But NA's NA. Like, it's not like it's a good region. You can't look at wildcards and just make up your mind from there.
I don't think EU's a wild card. But I get the point.
Yeah.
You can call you a wild card. I'm just saying, like, if you have any EU viewers or anyone who's EU in here,
I
sorry.
I meant to call NA wildcard, but yeah,
Oh, well,
still.
that's a shot fired to all of us, and I think you should leave.
All right, see ya.
All right.
But we see back to the champion pick a man, Lucian and Nami to round up the comp, which I think just fits pretty well with what they were building, with what Night Ray was building so far. Just
Yeah, especially if it's a lethality Lucian.
a lot of damage, a lot of CC, pretty standard. Whereas Varus and Brond for Dank Knights, I said it correctly this time, so a lot of pick potential, but not that much team fight.
Personally, I think we're in for an incredibly entertaining game. I'm really excited to see what the NAR can do, as I know it can do a lot. And I'm really excited to see what the Brand can do with the NAR. Since if NAR can get a 4-man ult, then so does Brand. And if NAR and Brand can both get 4-man ults, then so does Lux. And if they do, then Varus gets a 4-man piercing arrow or a 3-man or a 5-man, whatever it is. Either way, it's a devastating combo, and you really have to be worried about it.
This is the sort of game that's going to be ended in 5 minutes or in 1 hour.
It's definitely going to be an explosive game, and I'm incredibly excited for it. But we have a 3-minute delay, so I'm gonna have to keep my excitement bottled up for another 3 minutes.
Thanks, Fredo. Who do you think is going to win this game?
This game, I believe it could go either way. It's really hard to say when you're facing one team with so much frontline, but so much late game potential. Depending on Lucian's build, is he going to go crit? Is he going to go lethality? Is he going to go old Korean into crit or into lethality? There's so many ways for Lucian to build, and there's so many ways that will make him either better or worse for the team. And then on the other side, we've got the Gnar, who's a really strong pick, really good into the Maokai, and can just kite away from the Gragas, almost making his ganks basically useless. And then we've got the Warwick, who's really spooky right now, since he can just ult your carry and then not care because he's got a Spirit Visage and he's full tank. And then they follow it up with some free Forest damage and some free Brand damage, and it's just completely over. Personally, I'm not a fan of the Lux pick in any way, shape, or form. I've never liked Lux as a champion. I can appreciate her damage, but I don't appreciate what she doesn't bring to the team. Like, when you look at Azir, for instance, you see a champion with a lot of damage who can be constantly dishing it out and constantly barraging your team with a bunch of soldiers and damage coming from those soldiers. But Lux just can't do anything close to that. She gets her combo, and then she's forced to flash away from the fight. And while I like the Azir pick, I really disagree with the Ignite pick onto him, as I feel like Ignite will almost never be used because you should never be in range of them.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather much have seen a Clance against this team coming on Azir, just like remove the Varus stun or snare, remove the bronze stun, remove the cage from Lux. Just a lot of CC really going for picks. So I don't feel like the Ignite is good, but I think most of the game's going to end up being who gets the jump on who. Because if we see Dank Knights managing to just get their pick comp going, catching people left and right, Night Raid's really going to have a tough time. But if Night Raid manages to use that Nami, that Gragas, and that Maokai, just like picking the pick comp apart, essentially, and really punishing them, we could see an entirely different game where Dank Knights just will always be on the back foot, never be able to even try to do something. So
And
it's going to be a very interesting game.
Mhm.
Most of the focus, I feel, is going to be towards the bot lane, since that's where a lot of the damage comes from both teams. Like, sure, Azir is also a very big carry, but at the same time, he's Azir. He's going to get that damage no matter what.
Mhm. I also feel like there's a lot of pressure being put onto this top side, as if the Gnar flops, then the team flops, because they're really hoping that Gnar in general is a really risky pick, because if it works out incredibly well, and you will almost never have to sacrifice anything for that.
Mhm.
However, if it doesn't work, you're in the hole. And
It's going to be a very interesting game. A lot of action early, that's for sure. I don't see any of these teams trying to go for the late game or just wanting to play passive. They're going to be at each other's throats. But one of the very important things we need to remember is that Varus Cypher had 2 target bans against him, so we need to see how he does in this Varus. But you remember last game when we talked about human errors? I feel like Milk has done one of those. He doesn't have a Keystone Mastery.
ooh,
I don't know if it's just a lack of mastery in general. Like, is he playing without masteries? Or did he just forget to put that last point before going to the loading screen?
that's going to be really unfortunate for them, especially if they have to play with it without the Keystone Master. It could definitely be a very big problem, and it may actually be the victory or the loss for the team.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't bought... Okay, he buys a little bit late, but it doesn't seem that there's even an attempt at a remake going on.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Maybe
so
it's
they're gonna be playing
intentional.
that way. I highly doubt so. As I'm trying to just...
I'm just restarting my client now. I wasn't able to spectate, but I should be good. Just a second. I'll just be loading it a little bit late, but that's alright. Because it's just the early couple minutes. Nothing special is going to be happening.
So looking quickly at Bronze's stats, it seems like he has some masteries,
Minions have
but
spawned.
I wouldn't put my money on it. But that for sure could be a game lost right there. But then again, we have seen in LCS some pro players going in with empty rune pages and no masteries and still winning the game somehow.
Yeah.
First Drake is
Just real quick, you're at a minute 40, right? Okay, I'm just making sure.
First Drake is going to be Infernal, which means just even more action coming in. It's mostly going to be fans trying to go for it, I feel, because if you get a little bit more damage on Varus, it just gets so painful so quickly. So I'm really curious about how they're going to adapt their defense. And mostly, did they or when will they realize that Braun doesn't have the Keystones? Because that could change a lot. A lot.
Yeah, it could definitely make them either sink or swim in this. You know, not having that Deathfire touch, not having that Thunderlord's Decree can really cost you a lot in these games. It can be very scary and very difficult to deal with. But we'll see if they can make it through. Maybe it's a strategy. I'm not sure.
I would also a little bit. As we can see, a trade top. But
yeah,
nothing's really happening. They're just
trade mid.
Not a brutal fight, but not far from being one.
Eternal's really giving Immortal the business in this mid lane, though. Poking him out, playing his ear exactly like you'd hope he would. Making sure that he can stay safe in the lane. Right now, it's just a lot of poke and the Twisted Advance coming in from 48 Slave. And Nar's just churning right around. He's putting a lot of damage. And wow, Immortal is also very low. So far this is an incredibly explosive game, and I'm really excited for it. The E comes out from Eternal. The heal's gonna have to come in from Immortal Cat, but they're gonna try to chase down this Azir. The Q comes out. Yizhong is there to try to stop it. Mine comes out, but Chase is just gonna have to ghost away, walk it, and no first blood's gonna be given yet. The 4-minute mark is going to be a lot of trading so far, and so far it looks like it's going to be a really exciting game as I predicted.
Immortal's not backing. He decided to stay in lane.
Oh, the prediction from Yizhong as Cypher flashes into the E. He's going to go low. The flash comes in from Toonsy, and that's going to be a first blood. A really unfortunate flash from Cypher, and mid lane Immortal Cat is going incredibly low as the Ignite ticks down. But once again, really unfortunate from Cypher, as it was good reaction time, but not in the right place.
And that's where you can see that the lack of Keystone on Braun hurts a lot. With just that little bit more AP, he maybe could have made the doubt going in. Like, think about it twice.
Ooh.
Managed to do something with that. And
Looks getting chunked.
another player almost dying. This game really isn't going well so far for Death Knights.
Oh, but it's definitely going well for us and the viewers.
A lot of blood has been spilled. It's almost a second red wedding so far, just in even more brutal.
This is definitely a lot more exciting than our last game.
What will they do? Because Dang Knights clearly have been on this receiving end so far. They're down in almost every single lane, aside from top. So they need to find an answer and quick.
48th Slave is just really sustaining against Striker here, but he's really trying to get out his damage.
Well, it's to be expected from the matchup NR into Maokai. Maokai won't be able to.
Oh, Yizhong's up here. The twisted advance comes in. The body slam on the Striker. There should be no flash this time. The Thunderlord comes out. Now he's going to have to be forced to flash. He's going to escape barely with his life. Definitely not with his flash.
Very nice gank. Really, Maokai setting it up perfectly by going in often and not really taking
Teleport coming up from 48th Slave. Eternal Shadow is going to Shurima shuffle chase, and he is going to drop a beautiful shuffle to shut down that Warwick a little bit and give Yizhong an even better advancement. Try to get him really far ahead in this early game, trying to make sure that the Warwick doesn't do anything.
Very nice DP, and
They're going on the Infernal.
They're gonna get it. There's no way that guy's not gonna.
Looks like they're just gonna have to give it right up. The first Drake already going over. Wow.
That's a lot. The next one's gonna be Cloud Drake, so less important, but still you don't want to be giving it up.
Yeah,
Especially
incredibly large lead.
Yeah. We see 500 gold, 2 kills ahead.
But Eternal's getting hurt here, but he's actually... Wow, he's turning it onto Immortal in the solo kill! Coming from Eternal Shadow. Beautiful play on this Azir so far as he's shuffling and damaging everybody that he possibly can. Getting 2 solo kills onto the jungler and the mid laner.
So far it seems like NTR managed to play that disruption game by banning out the champions of Dank Knights. They're able to pull off quite a game. Both objective and kill wise. And the worst part about that is that it's not like it's an easy way to actually take advantage because Narn TP after Maokai but cancelled it. So there's no advantage to be had there.
Now, while we give them a lot of credit, there's only a 700 gold lead.
Yeah. They've been playing pretty well. I feel like top has been able to move a lot of that.
Shuffle from Eternal. Moral's going incredibly low. Eternal playing incredibly well, and this is Azir showing his mastery and his knowledge of his champion. But Striker also showing his as he puts 48 Slave down for trying to get a single minion.
Maokai not having the time of his life. Which again is to be expected as Maokai, you're going to be down until about level 11, 12, where you should be able to start going for a little bit more armor, but that's not the build Maokai's using so far. It seems like he's going for Catalyst, which is quite surprising considering the matchup.
Well, while he's not having the time of his life, he's definitely felt this way before. A Striker's just going to keep putting damage down onto him. And it looks like Yizhong, like I said, gonna make them feel this way, gonna make them feel the way that he used to. Because he's gonna go up, he's gonna kill Milk. And now they're gonna go on the Cypher once again, making him feel the pain that he felt 5 minutes ago. And he's gonna drop. Tunesy getting another kill, and that's already a 1K gold lead. And Eternal just poking down Immortal, making sure he gets no XP, no CS, no nothing, no advantages. Mone's actually gonna take the blue.
Seeing it again, just when one of those teams gets the slightest of leads, they're gonna be shoving it down your throat with brute force, killing you over and over, punishing you for every decision you make. Which is exactly how you should be playing League of Legends. That's just some textbook laning phase that we see so far. It's being executed so well that despite being down 20 CS in Luchin is still ahead 400 gold.
It's top in this mid lane. Eternal having a pretty large lead with the 2 kills and a lot of CS. But Striker is definitely winning this lane against 48 Slave, as he hasn't really gotten much. He TP'd down, but that was just a Drake. Doesn't give out any gold anymore. So Striker is more or less just going to take the W here in this lane. And I think 48 is going to have to just sit back, take the lane out, and then hope for the game win. Immortal gets the shuffle. Ooh, Eternal almost solo kill. Heal coming out from Immortal. Great shuffle again. Eternal, once again, showing his knowledge and understanding of his champion. And just really abusing Immortal Cat here.
So scary.
Oh, he gets the flash play. Ooh,
is he gonna go down to the tricks?
Very clean play, but he's going to die. A really good play from Eternal, using both summoner spells though, as Immortal also had to use hers. But Striker's getting a lot of damage. He flashes into the belly slam. The wallop's gonna come through. He's gonna get the stun off onto Yizhong, but he cues the wrong way, and he's gonna give the gold over to 48th Slave apparently. He's going to take the gold and he's going to run with it. Now getting a little bit better in this lane.
Giving the kill to Maokai was really the right decision there. He's been struggling so much, and just getting that kill means Catalyst is going to be able to be, like, has been done. So if you need one, you're very quick from Maokai, and that kill is going to be allowed to kill exactly that. And the scariest part about that is that Striker is the saving grace so far. We see things not going the way of Dank Knights and bot lane. Mid lanes being mad. Just some out of this world play from Eternal Shadow. Poking and not giving a single second to Immortal to catch his breath.
Ooh, the chain of corruption misses from Cypher as they had hope for a play there. That is very big.
They tried to make a play with Lux roaming down, but that just gives more time to Azir mid to penetrate and farm.
He's just gonna really sad misplay there from Cypher. And definitely a big issue for Dank Knights. As NTR is just gonna get the tidal wave and Zawa's gonna walk away, gonna take the E, and just gonna have to flash. The ult comes through, doesn't really do much. Oh, but they're getting the TP in. 48th Slave is trying to look for an in. Striker doesn't have his jump. He's going to get CC'd down. He's going to get some damage put onto him. They're not looking for him. They're trying to go for the whole team. He's going to go down. Yizhong going to put some damage down. Tuesday getting the calling out. He's going to put some damage. He goes for the flash in. He gets the auto attack off. He's going to go for the kill. They're not going to try to go for anything else. However, the Drake is up, and it looks like it's in their eyes.
Yizhong
Milk is getting dangerously close.
That despite the nerfs to this barrel that everybody was saying it's too big, way back in the days where they played
Immortal Cat with the huge misplay mid as Eternal just says, no, get away from me. Shuffles him into the wall, and he's completely gone. A gigantic misplay from Immortal and just going to cost him his life. While Eternal's going to go down, it's still a huge lead for him. And just a huge misplay from Immortal.
Immortal is the trip to his advantage, but this you're putting so much damage with adding the 4, and
that's NTR's Drake. The thing with Azir is that you kill him in the early game and his late, he just comes back late game. But if you don't kill him in the early game, then there's nothing to come back from. he's just going to be strong throughout the rest of the game. And right now, it looks like they're going to try to give it to him. Immortal just running up to him and throwing 300 gold in his face and said, "Here, take it."
Speaking of scary things, the next Drake is going to be an infernal one once more.
Very scary, especially with an Azir.
He does not need more damage right now, but he probably will be able to get some more. And that's a very big issue.
Oh, Milk trying to put damage onto Eternal, but he misses all of his skill shots.
Really not going well so far for Death Knights. Trying, you see them rolling, trying to set up plays, but
It's really just not enough.
always just a second behind or miscoordinated on their attack, on their plans, and that's enough to make them fail. They need to really just regroup, think with themselves, okay, that's just a 3k gold lead, it's not the end of the world, we need to stay calm and focused, and they could come out of this.
Nothing's gonna happen to Eternal as he throws out his minion. It's just
very well so far.
incredibly sad and a really hard game, and Immortal's actually gonna take the blue, which is a little surprising. I kind of figured Chase would just take it for himself and take the XP and the gold. As Eternal's probably just gonna look to take that blue buff for himself in a couple seconds.
You need to try to help here.
Oh, Yijon with the beautiful E flash. Chase is going to try to get the E off. He's going to go for the fear. And Yijon's going to barrel them out. He's going to take a lot of damage, but he's actually going to drop to the red buff. Chase is ghosting, but it doesn't look like he's going to do anything as Eternal takes the mid lane turret for free.
And he starts to push the next one as well. There's now finally Death Knights are starting to work with it.
I think it's too late.
Yeah, it's
It
too
doesn't
late.
seem like there's a lot they can do. Eternal's got the turret up behind him. It looks like he's actually ready to make a play. He's already done a number onto Immortal. And Chase is just going to try to hit his turret, but he's really disrespecting the Azir here. But meanwhile, Eternal's actually disrespecting the arrow and the wombo combo from Immortal Cat's damage. A big misplay from
Underestimate the locks, even when she's behind. That combo is a killer. As he just experienced.
And Striker's going to get this top turret for free. But 48th Slave's actually going to go in on him. It could be a big mistake as Striker's getting the damage off. He actually jumps away, realizing that the team's coming up behind him as 48th might actually still go down. He does not with the lucky crit from Tunze, keeping his friend alive and trying to make sure that his little tree buddy doesn't die any more than he has to.
What a bait. 48 just going in. We were all sure he was gonna die, but he had it planned.
Tunzi with the calling, he's going to miss most of his shots. He gets his W out, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it.
But
He
that
might be
has
looking
no
for a
escape.
piercing strike.
He can all leave.
Oh.
He's
Yuzhong.
gonna try to run through the transitions.
Oh, the stun doesn't hit. The W comes out from Tunzi. He's going to dash away. Piercing light comes through, and that's a kill with the twisted advance from 48th.
48. We see right now he just doesn't care about Striker. Going for a Negatron cloak after Roa, no armor, what? Just completely disrespecting the matchup, but making it work. He knows he doesn't have to care about Nara. Because if he's fighting, he's gonna lose anyway, so he decides, you know what, I'm gonna help shut down this Lux completely, and just Braun doesn't have a mastery, he's not mastery, so let's make sure he does nothing during this game.
I think he's going for an early Guardian Angel. He's got the Negatron cloak and a cloth armor. Oh, the piercing arrow and the pillar of flame mean that Tuesday is going to take a bit of damage. The Q's coming out from Immortal. Oh, the Shurima shuffle from Eternal is going to push him into the team. The piercing light comes out from Tuesday, gets the W off. But Eternal once again disrespecting the entire enemy team. You cannot be doing that. Cypher getting his damage. Striker's going to get the Q out. The exhaust comes through, but it does absolutely nothing to try to save him.
He's trying to go for the pick, being a little bit too eager and under the treads.
The flash from Striker. Q missing from Cypher. And another throw of the building, but nothing's going to come out of it. A little bit of a misplay coming in from Striker.
Yeah, a little bit of a basic flash. But perhaps that's going to allow them to secret the Drake.
Oh, Tuzi just walking away from all the skill shots. Really good dodging there. As the piercing arrow misses, and Yizhong is going to try to tell Chase to get the hell out.
Meanwhile, Malachi is getting a free farm though. And if
Yeah,
he's going
he's
for that
definitely getting a
Guardian Angel build, it's gonna be scary in fights, especially with the big. He doesn't have enough right now to buy the GA. So that's a very good sign.
Oh, the all coming in from Chase. And Yizhong's just, the team is just really disrespecting. NTR is not giving Dank any respect, despite the fact that they're not that ahead by all that much. There's a lead, yes, but it's not that ridiculous as they go in for it. The Smite's going to come out from Warwick. The stream of Shuffle's going to go in. Immortal Cat's going to go down. Chase is trying to get out of here. He's trying to get the lifestone to Bazawa. He gets the double kill there. And Milk is going to go down to Tuesday slowly but surely. Eternal Shadow might be going to go look for the triple here, but Chase is just going to walk out. Striker sitting top. He's trying to get some CS. And Eternal Shadow is going to go for the damage.
Was it worth it? 3 kills against the Infernal Drake. I feel like it didn't really have an option, any other way of killing this. But
especially
losing a turret, and
it looks
looks
like they might lose more. They might lose the inhibitor turret. Unless Chase has something to say about it, which he really doesn't. He doesn't have an ult. He's trying to get the Q onto Yizhong. He gets it. The damage is coming out from Eternal, but he doesn't really have any say in who's going to die right now, since he's still missing his Rylai's spike. He may have the damage, but he doesn't have enough damage.
We're going to be able to see in the next few minutes.
Oh, Tuesday running around trying to get away from Chase. The smite comes through the ult, and Tuesday's going to die. A nice try at the dodge, but it's Warwick. We understand, buddy. Don't worry.
Zay trying to run away and just chase, saying, I don't feel like chasing anymore.
Oh, it's Eternal gonna steal it. He's got the E, but nope, the smite's gonna come through from Yizhong as he walks away. Cool guys don't look at their own smites.
Very nice game so far by both teams. It seems we're gonna be in for the long run this time. As we just see both teams. Sure, NTR has the advantage, but Dank Knights do not like letting them go.
Oh, damage is coming through. 48th is going to flash in. He's putting damage on the Milk. And Eternal is putting a lot of damage out. Yizhong with the flash E gets the barrel off, the body slam. Tuesday is going to dash in. The Q is coming in from Azir. He's throwing out all of his soldiers that they're doing all of his work. As he's going to get a triple kill here. Tuesday throwing out his calling, but it's not really going to be enough as Immortal's going to try to walk out. Tuesday with the dash. He's looking for the chase here, but can Immortal turn it around? Gets the light binding, but it's not going to hit. The E, not going to happen. But Immortal will live.
He crushes but not really denying them. Just going, taking the fourth one. It's gonna be the inhibitor, perhaps even
Probably going to be the inhibitor. 22 minutes. This was the time last game when Turtles had gotten the Baron roughly. And it looks like 48th is going to get stuck, but he's going to get the stream of Shuffle. Eternal actually going to get locked up. A beautiful shuffle, but he died. Nobody really to follow up in his footsteps. Still a good shuffle nonetheless.
perhaps a bit of miscommunication. We've seen Night Raid overstepping their boundaries a little bit before on the bot side, and that gave it an Infernal Drake to Dank Knights, and maybe this time it's gonna be a
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna try to go for the Baron. Cypher doesn't really seem too keen on it. It looks like he wants to poke a little bit more.
They know
The
perfectly
striker,
that
Cypher trying to trail it. Gragas is here. He looks like he wants to get a little bit more. They're gonna peel back. Cypher, it looks like it's too late for him. The ult's coming out from Striker. Yizhong's gonna get walloped up. He's gonna get boulder tossed. The tidal wave's coming through. It's gonna hit too. The twisted advance comes in from Maokai. He's gonna try to get the sapling onto Cypher. He's going low, but so is 48. He's ignited. He doesn't have much to heal. The two-man bubble coming out from Zawa. The calling coming in from Tunze. He's gonna try to get his damage off. He's gonna put it out. And Eternal's stuck in the middle with them. He's gonna put a lot of damage out with his soldiers as he gets a quadra kill.
I don't know what to
Beautiful
say.
quad.
A beautiful fight, just really taking their time. For the 8th, peeling as much as he could for Lucian, but mostly for Eternal Shadow to come in with the Azir, clean up the entire house, and just so much damage coming out of him. He finished Riley. He's on 3 items so far. Nobody has those there. And the turrets are gonna fall.
Tunse is looking for the Nexus turret here, but he might have overstayed his welcome. Milk is going to try to get some damage. He's going to put it out. He's going to dash to the side. He's going to get a crit. He's going to take the turret. I think he might be dead here. Immortal looking for the binding. It's going to miss. The piercing light also missing. The E is coming through. He's in a very bad position as Chase tries to chase, and the ult comes through from the Lux. And that's all she wrote for Tunze for now.
But meanwhile, they lose another turret. That's 3 turrets and a quadra kill on the
Solid 25 minutes. So far, it's going all downhill from here. A bad Baron call puts the majority of the Dank Knights' team down. Night Raid is just getting absolutely everything they could possibly want out of these fights. And either the Baron get their Azir quadra kill and ace 3 turrets. This is all that a little kid could ask for Christmas.
That being said, Dank Knights still have a way out. If we look on the map so far, we see almost no vision control. 1, 2, 3 wards out for Night Raid. So they're really playing in the dark right now. Yes, pun intended.
Motion tricks up.
But, so if Dank Knights can manage to get that vision, just get control of their own jungle.
Oh, Immortal Cat's getting caught out here. He's gonna have to flash out the light binding and the ult. Tunze is a little low, so is Yizhong, but it's gonna be a walk away. But it looks like Dank Knights might want to try to make a fight here. But it's gonna be a very quick dragon.
A third Drake went down, and it's an Ocean Drake, which means Azir won't have any mana problems. Maokai went for the Zrat Portal instead of the Guardian Angel. Very good build decision as well. It's going to help them close out that game.
Let's mention that they can basically now just ignore Varus's Q as they can just heal it up. And they're actually going to look to rotate onto the Baron. Azir's not here though, so it might be a little bit of a risky call. Putting damage onto it. It's not very quick. Cypher's on the other side. The tidal wave comes through, knocks him up. Trying to look for the steal here. The Q comes out. They're doing it completely blind. Brand's trying to get some damage out onto the Baron. The light bind comes through and 48 is in trouble. Chase ults in, but the smite, it goes over to the Azir. Chase goes down, the fear comes through. It's going to be a double kill from the side of Night Raid. They're going to get some damage out on the Striker. He's going low, the piercing arrow, and Tunze goes down. Striker getting a nice, gets a 2-man ult. It's a double stun. Zawa's getting hit with the piercing arrow and the boulder toss. They're in a complete retreat at this point. The binding's gonna come through from Immortal Cat, not gonna hit though. 48 Slave getting boulder shot. Cypher's trying to get the slow out. A lot of damage, but they're turning it around. Yizhong and Eternal Shadow are gonna try to 2-man. They're gonna get a free double kill.
We have been talking time and time again about how Night Raid is overstepping their boundaries, just being too confident into their own ability, and how Dank Knights have been using those mistakes.
Eternal Shadow looking for another play, and solo kill on Immortal.
But now they go and do the same exact mistake, getting some kills and getting bloodthirsty, and that leads to another pile of gold. Azir on 16 kills. This champion is gonna be unstoppable for the rest of the game.
Eternal Shadow, well, looks like they're gonna get that inhibitor for pretty much nothing. There's an open nexus, and they might try to end the game here. But things are going up to the top side, so it looks like they're gonna want to let it go for another couple of seconds.
they're gonna
Give a
play
little bit
safe
more.
and make sure they get a second inhib, because if they were to go for the end game and die there, it would
They
be
are sending Tunzi into the base. It might be a backdoor attempt from him. Wow, Eternal putting a lot of damage on the Cypher with a single Q auto attack. A lot of damage on the Striker as well. Tunzi is just kind of sitting out in the mid lane. Immortal Cat almost instantly killed by the Azir. Tunzi, it looks like he might be trying to push up with them. The minions, he might be trying to end here. He's getting pinged out, but nobody can really react right now. Immortal Cat going back into the base. Cypher looks like it's going to be him to respond, but he's getting a lot of damage put down onto him. The tidal wave for zoning comes through, and a beautiful Shurima shuffle. Chase jumps on through, like I said, completely ignoring it, but he is still going to go down here. The legendary going on to Eternal Shadow, the great KDA.
that should be it.
He's just looking to end the game. Cypher, the all goes down onto him. It's going to be one more death onto him. Sorry for the fantasy points, but it looks like the Shurima Shuffle is going through. Eternal Shadow getting a triple kill, going very low, and he might want the quadra kill here. No, he can't get it as the Nexus drops. A really
Just
good game.
So well executed. As you're not missing a single Shurima shuffle, which is pretty hard to execute. Not dropping a single one. Maokai just having things under control in top lane. Sure, he was losing lane, but an outstanding performance, not letting that go to his head, and ending 3-15, so really not a bad score. Gragas everywhere, and just Nami setting up the plays, and Lucian bringing the damage. What a fantastic game. We're going to take a little break to decide an MVP, and we're going to be right back. See you then. And we're back with our MVP. You might have guessed who it was. Eternal Shadows with us.
Hey,
Great game. Fantastic
yeah,
work.
it was pretty good.
Did you expect going in that it would go that well?
Uh, Usually since I play a zero a lot, usually it ends up that way. You tell Yuzong I'd never like lose my lane, but I do lose some games.
Were you surprised to see that Azir was not banned against you? If it is such a strong pick?
Wait, could you repeat that again?
Were you surprised when during the pick and ban phase, Azir was not banned, despite it being like just one of your very good picks? Would you have
Yeah, I
expected to
was.
see him like being removed?
Yeah, usually when we're playing scrims and I'm mid, or games like these, and I'm mid, they usually end up playing. They usually end up banning Azir, so I was very surprised that they didn't ban my main.
During the loading screen, did you guys notice the lack on Keystone Mastery on Brond? And did that affect your gameplay at all?
We did tell Tunzi to capitalize on Brand since he doesn't have a Keystone Mastery, but to be careful with his damage. Because even without a Mastery, Brand still deals an insane amount of damage with his ult.
There was a time where you got caught during the game, and Dank Knights tried to go for a Nasher, and you just went up there, your team managed to stall, you came there, got the quadra kill. What was going through your mind while you got it?
Well, we were deciding as a team to first to delay like them going towards Baron, getting a pick if we can, and as soon as I'm up, I would get as much damage as I could to the carries, such as Brand or Varus or even Lux.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up with I saw Brand and Warwick were close together, so I just shuffled right to Warwick and Brand, focused Brand, killed Warwick, and just queued towards Varus and Lux, who were together in the same place, and ended up with the Quadra.
We saw Dank Knights going for a Warwick pick, which is kind of still new to the game. What did you guys were thinking? Was it a pick that you were happy to see because you were confident you could play around it, or did it scare you?
Actually, since I've played Warwick, we knew that Warwick could do Dragon at level 3 even without any leashes. So we decided to keep Dragon Pit warded.
Mm-hmm.
Nami kept Dragon Pit warded, and we knew how to play against a Warwick just to avoid getting like really close range with him because he has an insane amount of sustain with his W passive since it triples once an enemy's below 20%.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't really scared of the Warwick. We were more scared of the various poke and the Lux ults.
But despite that, like everything still went super well
Yeah.
for you. No real scares or anything. Uh, do you guys like you were the underdogs going in? Uh, with the ranking so far, your team has been having their own struggle, like 2 wins, 4 losses. Do you think that from now on you're going to be able to climb up with that victory and keep on playing at that level and climbing up the ranks?
Well, hopefully we can. We're still working out kinks on like which team comp is good with us, who we're focusing on shot, who's actually shot calling, and who's micromanaging us, and also macromanaging us. But hopefully we can start climbing ranks from here on out.
Well, we're going to wish that for you. We're not going to keep you any longer. Thank you very much for your time. And once again, magnificent game. These Shirima shuffles were on point. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you all you guys for watching the stream. We're going to be closing for tonight, but we're going to see you next week with some more, hopefully, games that are going to be just as good. I hope to see you there.